Hello and welcome back to the draw. Busy week this week and last week. We're gonna hop right into it, and we'll start with the LPGA Tour. Jeeno Thitikul wins again at the Mizuho Americas Open, and we have a great battle on the LPGA Tour between her and Nelly right now, and it's great for the game of golf.
Yeah, 100%. I actually got a prediction right. I think for the first time, I picked Gino to win last week. So, round of applause for myself. It's a great battle for the LPGA Tour. I know we talked about Nelly. She's kind of running away with it. She has in her sixth start, she has three wins and three runner-ups, which is absolutely insane. And then now you have Gino with her second win of the season. So right now you've got her. Gino, Nelly, Yoju Kim, and Hannah Green all playing excellent golf, and I believe at least, and I know Gino and Nelly will be in the field this week, so definitely a great tournament in store for you this week.
Yeah, I mean, wins the same event two times in a row. Pretty cool. She won not really close, wins by four again. It's just kind of her and Nelly's world and everyone else is living. I mean, Hannah Green is up there, but I think that Gino and Nelly are doing this strictly on the LPGA Tour, gives them a little more upper echelon status, I'll say. Nothing to take away from the ladies European Tour, but good for Hannah Green still. Yeah, and it's just like you said, it's gonna be hard to not pick either of them this week because of the way they're playing. And again, I like it. I think it's great. I want to see the best players go at it. Now, all we need is a duel between them coming down the back nine this week or at a major, and that would be great.
Yeah, I mean, it's the first tournaments they've both been in since the Chevron Championship a few weeks ago. They played in Mexico. Nelly was in there. And then last week they had in New Jersey. Then it was just Gino. So now they're both in the field, both ready to go. Charlie Hull's in the field. And Miyu Yamashita, I believe, is also in the field. So some
Yeah.
really big names in the field this week. Great tournament in Cincinnati, Ohio. So, another a mid-major there. I mean, I'm sure the fans are they love it there. It's gonna be a great tournament. Definitely one to watch.
Yeah, and then on the kind of amateur side of this tournament, Aphrodite Deng wins the second consecutive time the AJGA competition at this event. So good for her. Now she's second in the Rolex AJGA ranking. So again, back-to-back winners on the amateur status too. That's really cool. Good for her. See her here in the LPGA in a couple of years again. The young stars are shining bright early on in the LPGA. So to win that event twice, it's got to give her a ton of confidence going into her career.
Yeah, for sure. Back-to-back wins for her. I know in the post-run interview she talked about she was playing with Gino and having to going back-to-back with Gino. She had her picture taken with Gino. I saw that too, and she talked about, hey, I try to emulate Gino's swing, her game, and she's very nice, and it's got to be a great experience for the number two, former number one player of the world, playing next to you and being liking your game and just it's got to be so cool. So great, good for her. I think I noticed she was like a different grade level than other people in her class. She might be class of 2028 or something. So she's a little younger than the rest of her grade, I believe. So that's pretty cool. That's very impressive as well. So good for her.
Yeah, it's a cool format. They let these amateurs play with the pros, and it'd be interesting to see what a PGA Tour event would do like that. I don't know if they will, but again, good for those two winning back to back. Pretty cool. You can say this one back to back with Gino is not something many people can say. So really cool event over there on the LPGA Tour. The PGA Tour had two. We'll start with the One Flight Myrtle Beach Classic and Brandt Snedeker out of seemingly nowhere wins for the 10th time on the PGA Tour, first time since 2018. He's the President's Cup captain this year for the U.S. team. And yeah, he gets it done in Myrtle Beach. He beats Mark Hubbard, which I was really pulling for Mark Hubbard. A bogey on the last, though. It's tough. I mean, I read the stat that he has the second most starts on the PGA Tour without a win, only behind Patrick Rogers. And that he was right there. A bad drive on the 18th makes him make a bogey, and Snedeker walks away with his 10th win and a spot in this week's PGA Championship field.
Yeah, unfortunate for Mark Hubbard. He shot a final round of 70, which is, isn't too bad, but coming down the stretch and Brandt Snedeker's charging, coming back. Probably have to do a little better than that. And I mean, Brandt Snedeker played very well. And, give a credit to him. I haven't heard his name on the PGA Tour too frequently, but in the last few years, that is. And now he comes back and wins whatever you said, his 10th PGA Tour win, which is extremely impressive. And Brandt Snedeker, he played very well. He was fourth in strokes gained putting. So as we know, driver show, putt for dough, and Brandt Snedeker put on a clinic with a putter apparently. So
Yeah, I mean that's been kind of his calling card his whole career is his putter, and yeah, again, like he hasn't. I don't even know how he has status. I don't know if he's playing on one of his exemptions or past winner exemption or money ranking exemption, but now he's exempt for 2 years. So good for Brandt. I know people love him. He's Ryder Cup assistant captain in the past, President Cup cap assistant in the past. So it'll be interesting. We're not going to have another Willie play on the President's Cup team like we did with Keegan at the Ryder Cup. That definitely won't be happening. But again, good for him. And I'm pretty sure he was also named, or I don't think he's been named a Ryder Cup assistant captain for next fall, but I gotta assume he'll be there too, especially after leading Team USA this year at the President's Cup. The other event on the PGA Tour, the Truist Championship at Quail Hollow, Kristoffer Reitan wins his first PGA Tour event, becomes the second player from Norway, joining Victor Hovland to win on the PGA Tour. And he outlasted the Green Mile when his competitors didn't. And it comes down to that. I think Fowler, Hogard, and Fitzpatrick all were over par on the final 3 holes. He was even, and he wins by 1, and there's the difference.
yeah, it was really anyone's game, it seemed, down the stretch there at the championship this weekend. And Sung Jae Im, couple of names, Alex Fitzpatrick kind of lost it there. Another name talked about that was kind of on the leaderboard, JJ Spawn. Last
I'll
week.
give you credit. I think he finishes top
He was
5
tied for fifth. Yeah, so
Yeah,
not gonna victory lap a fifth place because he didn't win. But building momentum into this week. Not gonna pick him though. Don't worry. I'm not gonna go that far. It's just a fun pick. But I love that from JJ Spawn. Putter was doing all right. But yeah, Kristoffer Reitan. We talked about putting with Brandt Snedeker. He was second in strokes gained putting this week. So putter very important as we all know. And congratulations to him.
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't in this event. He finishes second in the Zurich with his playing partner, Chris Ventura, to Alex and his brother. Gets him into the Doral Cadillac Championship last week. Then his high finish there gets him into this week, and now he wins. And again, coming from the DP World Tour, he was one of the 10 that earned their card via the Race to Dubai rankings, won twice over there. He's young. He hits it far enough, but like you said, his putting is the difference maker, and he made some putts, and he made some really good the tee shot on the 17th hole there, like with a 1-stroke lead. I mean, it's a difficult tee shot, hits it to 20 feet, 2-putt par. I mean, where you see Alex Fitzpatrick misses right, chips up, doesn't get to the green, and ends up, I think, makes a 5, so it makes a double on the second last hole. So yeah, it's again, Ricky was great, makes a bogey on the 18th hole. Good for Ricky. Where Ricky's been playing really well the last, I think, what is the stat that I read that Ricky that I was shocked? He's the only player with top 10 finishes in each of the last Sports Signature events. So he goes T9 at the Arnold Palmer, T8 at RBC Heritage, T9 Cadillac Championship, T2 here at the Truist. Now, I'm not saying he's going to win this week at the PGA, but he's trending in the right way. He hasn't won since the Rocket Mortgage, I think, in 2023, so it's been a while. For him to win his first major, he's going to have to play really good golf this week, but it's an outside name that if he gets the putter rolling, he has a shot maybe, but it's good to see Ricky playing well again.
Yeah, I'd love to see Ricky Fowler win a major. Ricky Fowler, he has his stretches of playing good golf. Like, wow, Ricky Fowler, he was really good in his prime, 10 years ago. But now, you don't really, when you see Ricky Fowler, it's kind of like, hey, maybe he's making some noise, but don't really expect anything of it really. But I'd love for Ricky Fowler to win this next weekend. That would be a great story. Him and Spieth, those guys. But I'm not really expecting much. No offense, but
Yeah, it'll be
I would love it, but no.
Yeah, we're gonna head to the DP World Tour too. I think what is the most impressive win of the weekend, and Yurav Premlall wins by 14. I mean, I think the craziest stat out of this week was if he didn't play the first and second round and they only took his scores from the third and fourth round, he still wins the golf tournament by 4 strokes. I mean, just absolutely blitz this field to win the Estrella Damm Catalunya Championship down in Spain. And again, it's big. He wins for the first time. He's 22 years old. He moves up, I think, all the way up to 26 in the DP World or Race to the Buy rankings. Again, get into that top 10, you get a PGA Tour card. So this win definitely helps. But he's one shot away from tying Tiger Woods' record of winning by 15 on the DP World Tour. Made a bogey, I think it was on the 14th hole, and again, did follow that up with, I think, another birdie on the 18th hole to push out to 14. But just, I mean, I looked at the scoreboard when I woke up Sunday morning and I go, oh, he's up 6. And all of a sudden, next thing I look and he's up 12. And I go, I can start writing my article right now. Like, what are we like? I just was like, whoa, like, but very impressive 2 rounds of golf from Premlall.
Yeah, I was on Twitter, and I don't really get DP World Tour popping up too often, but when I do, it's something big going on. And I see, I get my friend text from my friends, and I see on my Twitter, it's like he's up by 13 shots. I go, is this guy even playing the same tournament? This is a different level, and I feel like you should get something extra, like some extra points or some extra money for winning by that much.
And because he set the course record, he did like earn an extra $50,000. But the thing is, he set the course record twice. He shot 263. So it's like, so does he get 100K now? But I think he only gets 50. But yeah, again, 50,000. Nice. Go give it to the caddy or give it to someone. But yeah, it was just, and then watching the highlights, I'm like, he just made everything. I mean, he was making putts. He chipped in at one point. I'm like, good Lord. It's just, the hole is massive for him right now.
Yeah, it's just incredibly impressive. It's something that you don't see very often. Like you don't see, even 5-shot leads, let alone 14-shot wins.
Yeah. Yeah, it's exciting past week, and this week the excitement is in the air for the PGA Championship, the second major of the year. Before we preview those, we'll start with the Ladies European Tour. They're playing over in Germany for the Amundi German Masters. Again, Ladies European Tour event. They took last week off, so a lot of their players rested, and we'll see. It doesn't look, not the longest course in the world. It's a par 73, which is strange. You don't see many par 73 courses, but again, we'll see who comes out with the German Masters.
Yeah, first tournament in Europe for the Ladies European Tour. They were over in Australia, then they were in Africa for the last couple of weeks, and now they're finally in Europe for the European Tour. So it's in Germany this week. Course is hosted the European Open on the DP World Tour 7 times, which is pretty cool. And so my pick for this week, I've got Alexandra Forsterling. She is top 5, I believe, on the order of merit on the European Tour. She has 5 top 10s this season, which is pretty crazy. And then she was finished including a runner-up to Hannah Green in Australia in one of the tournaments there. So, if it wasn't for Hannah Green being not from this planet for that month, she could have had a win. So that's my pick for this week. She's also German, German player.
Yeah, always helps to play in your home country. Like we mentioned earlier, the Kroger Queen City Championship on the LPGA Tour is just a loaded field. I mean, you have 21 of the top 25 players in the world, headlined by Nelly, Jeeno, Runing, Yin, Charlie Hall, Miyu Yamashita, Lydia Ko, Lottie Wood. I mean, there's a ton of talent in this. It's always a good term. I mean, you look back at the last 3 winners: Charlie Hall last year, 2 years ago Lydia Cole, 3 years ago Minjee Lee. So it's a course and a tournament that people, the better golfers, thrive at. Jeeno's finished runner up the last two times at this event. So we should have some fireworks and hopefully a close tournament with some of these players at the top of the leaderboard coming down the back 9.
Yeah, as I mentioned, it's gonna be a great tournament this week. If you're not watching the PGA Championship, I mean, definitely check out the LPGA Tour event. This is gonna be insane. Stacked field, great course. They usually play this course. This is the first time this tournament's being played in the spring, so that'll be a little different. I know Cincinnati in the summer is the hottest place maybe, and it's extremely hot. So being in the spring, probably a little nicer for the people there. Fans would come out, as I mentioned. For this week, my pick, not a surprising one at all. I see this tournament as, Nelly Korda or Jeeno. No disrespect to the other competitors in the field this week, but they have been on a different level the last few weeks, and I'm going with Nelly Korda. She hasn't finished outside of second place this season in 6 starts, so I'm gonna pick her until it doesn't work, until she shows me that she's not gonna be immortal, basically, essentially. So going with her, not very bold, but yeah.
Yeah, honestly, I don't have that crazy to pick. I've been looking at it. It's like Charlie Hall won here last year. 2 years ago in 2023, she lost in the playoff to Minjee Lee. She's played well. I know a different course, but still. You have Jeeno, who's finished runner up the last 2 years at this event, just won last week. It's you could go with Lydia Ko, who's won here 2 years ago. It's again the stars play well in this event for whatever reason, and I'm gonna be boring like you, but I would love this down the stretch, and I think Jeeno wins back-to-back events. Won last week, wins this week, and I really want a duel of Nelly and Jeeno down the stretch to see who the winner. Like I want one of them to have a one-shot lead or tied with like 4 holes to go, and let's see what they do. And again, that'd be great viewing right before watching the final 9 holes or whatever it is of the PGA Championship. You watch that duel, and then you flip over to the PGA Championship to see who wins the major. And I think it'd be a great day of golf on Sunday with these two tournaments.
Oh yeah, I'm so excited for Sunday. You've got this tournament in Cincinnati. You got the PGA Championship. I'm so excited. Definitely a lot of high caliber golf being played, best in the world. What's there to not like?
Yeah, it's going to be fun. Again, we'll see how it's played. It's Cincinnati. I don't know if it's getting all the rain that kind of up here in the Northeast have. So if that course gets like dry and quick, that could be fun. But if it gets wet, we'll see. It could be going low. And that's the same case for this week at the PGA Championship at Aronimink Golf Club down in Philadelphia. And boy, the videos I've seen, the flyovers, the hole by holes, it looks fantastic. I know it's not the longest course, and I know from what I've talked to people, I talked with the one golf professional there. She said the defense is the greens and kind of around the green. So we'll see. And listening to some people, I think it's going to be maybe a high scoring, especially if it rains. I hear that it could rain Wednesday night. So if it gets soft for them on Thursday, Friday, we could see some players go low. But boy, I don't know why I'm so excited for this one. I don't know, just because we're back in Philadelphia, we're back in the Northeast. But this one, I feel like some strange things are going to happen. I think we're going to have a close PGA Championship.
Yeah, really, really exciting week on the PGA Tour. You got this at Aronimink, and regarding the golf course, I kind of don't necessarily like that they remove a lot of the trees. I'm kind of
Yeah.
on team trees here. When I
Yeah.
golf, I don't want there to be trees. It seems I always find them, but when the PGA Tour golfers, I want it there to be trees as a challenge. I know this is kind of giving off Oak Hill vibes or
Yeah.
Oakmont last year at the U.S. Open, especially.
Yeah.
No trees at Oakmont. They got rid of almost all of them.
So many.
So I am not necessarily a fan of just a wide open golf course. I know it's better for the grass. Yeah, but
Yeah.
I like the bit of challenge, especially for the pros. They can just
I want them penalized for hitting a wayward drive. Like, yeah,
exactly.
punch out. Or
You got to punch
hit.
out and
Yeah.
no taking wedge and just hack it up near the green because you got nothing,
Yeah.
no obstacles. You're just hacking it up there. But that being said, still going to be a great week of golf, and I'm very, very excited.
Yeah, I think the cool part about this, again, it's a Donald Ross, so the greens are going to be tricky. And I was listening to Keegan Bradley talk about, I think it was on another podcast, and he goes like some of these pin placements that they have available to them are hard. Like he was like, you're gonna have to like be content with hitting it to 10 feet. Like you're not getting it close to some of these pins. And I'm like, okay, that sounds fun. He was like, you have little areas on the green that you need to hit, and if not, you're gonna be in trouble. And then the other part is these bunkers. I don't know if you've seen any of these bunkers. They're like they're not small bunkers, but imagine a large bunker, but then they split it up into 4 mini bunkers. So they're not, so it's like 4 separate bunkers. And for some reason, it looks great on the flyovers and all the like hole by holes I've watched. And it's just like, if you're like stuck between the bunker, like on that little strip of grass between the bunkers, it's got to be difficult. It's going to be, I'm hoping we get some weird lies or weird stances and just to see some of
Absolutely.
these players hit some cool shots. And I know what I've heard is that it's short and some of these long guys are going to bomb it and wedge it and all that. And hopefully it gets really dry and really hard so the greens get firm and maybe some of the shorter hitters have a chance because I don't know. I've heard a whole bunch of different people think. Like I've heard Colin Morikawa could win here. I've heard Cameron Young can win here. John Rahm. Like so, it'll be interesting to see who holds the Wanamaker Trophy come Sunday night.
Yeah, regarding your point about the bunkers and the greens, the bunkers having the little sections in there. I want to see some nasty lies. I know this course you mentioned the greens are its defense, but if there's no trees, make it tricky with the bunkers. I know the PGA Championship is not necessarily known, kind of like the U.S. Open, for course being ridiculously hard. Kind of more of a lower scoring kind of a tournament, you know. But I did see Michael Kim's Twitter. He's a great
Oh, I
follow.
haven't yet.
He talked about the greens, and he kind of pointed out a couple of pin placements that they could choose, kind of on your point with Keegan Bradley, and they are nasty, like on kind of like some pockets, like near some slopes and in like the ridges, and it
Perfect.
could be there if they choose to. There could be carnage on those holes. So very very
I'm excited.
interested to see what they could do there. Um, and then in terms of people winning, I think, in terms of the players, I think no one is coming into this tournament with more pressure on them than Cameron Young. Cameron Young is playing the best golf of his career. Going back to last fall, probably a top four player in the world. That's not
Yeah.
ridiculous at all. Yeah, for sure. And then, he won the Players. He won the event 2 weeks ago down in Florida, and Cameron Young is expected. He is in the prime of his golfing career, and when you're in your prime, we saw with Xander Schauffele, you are kind of expected to win a major, and he had the chance at the Masters and didn't capitalize, and now all the eyes are on Cameron Young for this week at the PGA Championship, and I don't know. He is not my pick for this week. I won't say who my pick is this week. All the pressure is on him to win a major in the next 3 months. He's got three more chances, and go for it. Have a shot.
Yeah, you bring up a great point because, again, I've seen, I think it's Scotty's the betting favorite, then Rory, and then Cam Young. And you can argue Cam Young is playing the best of those two. And I tend to agree with those people that say that. I think he's probably playing the best right now. He did kind of fade last week down at Quail Hollow, which was a little concerning, like heading into a major. He was up there and he shoots, I think, a final round 74. And I get it. Quail Hollow is a hard golf course. This one isn't going to be as hard. I think. Again, I don't know. I've never played it, but I would think that he's battle tested enough from the Masters. I would hope. But again, like I could see Scotty winning here. I could see Bryson winning here. You maybe could see like Matt Fitzpatrick. He's not super long, but he's long enough, and he's a really good iron player, and that's going to be important on these greens. You could see someone like JT, who has an incredible short game around the greens and is really good with the wedges. And the other thing I've heard is you're going to need to be good between 60 and 120 yards with your wedges. And so, like, if you can be good with your wedges and give yourself good looks at some of these tough pin placements that I think we'll see, it's tough because I think going into the Masters, you're like, all right, like there's clear favorites. In this one, I don't know if there is one.
There's
I've
like 10
gone,
guys who could win.
yeah, and I've gone back and forth with who I want to pick and who this, and I'm I'm gonna do it because I just think he has an advantage. He grew up in New York. He's played Northeast golf. He's playing really well, and I'm gonna pick Cam Young. I said it 2 weeks ago on this pod, like he's my pick, and that was before he won and then finished. I think he still finished in the top 10 last week at Quail. But I think he showed me enough at the Masters that he's gonna play well again. And again, I think this is a different golf course than Augusta that I think he'll play well at. And if it's wet at all on Thursday and Friday, his distance is just a massive advantage. And same with Rory. If it gets any rain, the Bombers are going to have a heyday on Thursday and Friday, I think.
Yeah, Cameron Young, I could totally see him winning. I know I said earlier I don't think he's going to win, but I wouldn't necessarily be surprised the way he's been playing the last few weeks if he did win. But I'm gonna go. JJ Spawn was fifth place last week, so I was gonna pick him, but if he won, I would have picked him, but I'm not going to. Everyone knows, but I'll calm down. Instead, I'm gonna go with a really boring pick. I'm gonna go with Scotty Scheffler. Scottie Scheffler has finished as the runner-up in the last 3 events that he's played in. Currently this season, he's 5th off the tee, 2nd in stroke gains around the green, and 14th in putting. So his weakness actually has been a strength his entire career, which is those irons. I think he's in the 40th or something stroke gain, which is still very good.
Yeah,
But,
it's just not Scott.
it's not Scottie Scheffler like alien robot kind of golf that we know. But I'm predicting that we see something along the likes of Nelly Korda here with Scottie Scheffler. Nelly Korda was going runner up, runner up, runner up, and then all of a sudden she just rattled off a few wins. And Scottie Scheffler, he won beginning of the season, just like Nelly, one of the first few events, and then rattled off a bunch of runner ups. So Scottie Scheffler is due for a win this week, 100%. I am very confident in picking Scottie Scheffler. He is the best player in the world. We've all seen it. He's a robot, and I think people have maybe forgotten not that the number one rated golfer in the world is slept on, but he might be. All this talk about Cam Young, Matt Fitzpatrick, Rory, which is justified, but Scottie Scheffler is still Scottie Scheffler. So I think Scottie Scheffler is going to win this week. My prediction is that I'm going to go even further. I think he'll win by, 3 or 4 shots. I think he will just be that good at least. So we'll go even further.
Yeah, I think it's a fair pick. And like you said, I think when they played at this course in 2018, when Keegan won the BMW championship, I think him and Justin Rose won the playoff at 18 under, I think it was, or 17. I think I wouldn't be shocked if you see the winner there, or even again, if there's any slight rain, could you see a 20 under? I don't know, but I think you could be right. I think you could see someone run away with this if the conditions are right. So it's going to be fascinating. I'm excited to watch come Thursday morning, and some pretty interesting tee times and groups. I think you got Rory and Rahm with Jordan Spieth, so that's one. Jordan Spieth looking to complete the career Grand Slam.
Come on.
That'd be a really cool storyline. He hasn't really played well in the last 2 weeks, but again, if he gets hot with the putter, he's good with the wedges and around the green, and he's long enough. You never know. It could happen. But again, it's going to be an exciting week. LPGA Tour, great event. You got another major on our hands. And again, check us out on Fairway to Green. I'm going to have some daily recaps after each round, so go check those out. Go check us out on Instagram and YouTube, and we'll be back here next week to discuss this exciting tournaments this week.